Good evening, everyone. We're going to be opening the Inland, Wetlands, and Watercourse Commission meeting for the town of Trumbull, Connecticut for January 6, 2026. I will ask our clerk to do a roll call if she would.
Richard Gerard,
Present.
John Loria,
Here.
Carmine DeFeo,
Present.
Rich Deacon,
Present.
David Verespi,
Present.
Greg Cernica,
Present.
Bob Ferrigno,
Present.
town staff Tatiana Solive,
Here.
John Mayer,
Here.
Attorney Cordone.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to take this moment to ask our town attorney to give us the legal aspect of doing a Zoom meeting, if you would, Counselor.
Yes, sir. As is the practice of this commission, our meeting is being conducted over the internet and telephone. Tonight's meeting agenda and supporting documents and materials and applications were posted on the town website in advance of the meeting. I would remind commissioners to please be identified through the chair prior to speaking. We do not have any, the only public hearing we have tonight is expected to be continued, so there will not be public comment. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Counselor. All right, we're going to open new business, application 25-42, Town of Trumbull. Permit approval to construct a new middle school and demolition of existing school, including parking, landscaping, playing fields, site lighting, stormwater management, and utility improvements within a regulated area at 530 Daniels Farm Road, which is basically Hills Point School. So.
Hillcrest, not Hills Point.
Yeah.
I'm in Hills Crest. I'm looking at something else. Mr. Scott, are you going to be doing the presentation?
Well, I get the pleasure of doing the introduction, and then I'll hand it over to the subject experts for the rest of the presentation. Good evening, I'm Michael Scott.
I was going to say, if you can introduce yourself, go ahead.
Michael Scott, TSKP Studios, Willis Street in Hartford, Connecticut. Pleasure being here tonight and opening this important land use permit process on this project. As your commission is aware, in November of 2024, the town passed the referendum that involved the demolition of the existing Hillcrest Middle School that has served the community for over 60 years and approved the construction of a new middle school on that same campus site. So tonight before you is the application for that project. I'll just give you a few brief stats related to the overall project. The current Hillcrest School houses just under 800 students and is 117,000 gross square feet, all on a single story. What you'll see tonight is a new school proposed to be built just south of the existing school on Field 8, which is commonly referred to as the Pit. That school, all of the common large educational spaces like the gymnasium, black box theater, and cafeteria will be on a single story wing, but then the classrooms, grades 6, 7, and 8, will be in an efficient 3-story wing. This facility will be designed for 825 students for a total of 135,000 square feet. While it will be larger, it will represent less impervious surface on the site and cast a much gentler shadow with regard to water management on the site. We're very pleased that we're in design development now with a project that is scheduled to be all electric, powered by a geothermal heat and cooling plant, and has the potential to be net zero with the inclusion of photovoltaics on the roof. I now will hand over the rest of the presentation to Brian Phillips from Langen, who will discuss the inland wetlands implication of our site plan.
Thank you, Michael. For the record, my name is Brian Phillips. I'm a professional engineer with Langen Engineering at 555 Long Wharf Drive in New Haven. And I have the pleasure of speaking on behalf of the applicant, the town in this case, and I can walk through our site plans. I will start sharing my screen. Can everyone see it, I hope?
There we go.
Great. Just to orient everyone, I'm sure the commission is familiar with this property, but here we are at 530 Daniels Farm Road, and we are concerned, while the overall property includes the high school, middle school, and other buildings and fields, our area of concern is in this southwestern corner where we have the existing middle school and then the field to the south that Michael alluded to. So the new building will be built here while the existing is still in operation, after which it will be demolished and the remainder of the site work will be completed. And then just as a reminder, the plans that I'll be showing here show the full build out of the site. So we have, the new building, and then afterwards the parking lots and fields will be constructed. Currently, we're looking at our overall proposed site plan, and what I tried to do was highlight the wetland in question here. We did have our wetlands delineated by a professional soil scientist, Dean Gustafson, with All Points Technology Corporation, and we included his wetland delineation report within the application. This wetland closest to our project was noted as wetland number 1, which is a hillside seep wetland system with an intermittent watercourse. And then this watercourse conveys stormwater flows from the western side of the school, the existing school, and the parking lot, along with seasonal seep areas within both the eastern and western sides of this wetland feature. And there are some invasive species in here. The understory is characterized by dense thickets consisting primarily of woody invasive shrubs and vines. So we are aiming to stay out of the upland review area as much as possible with this project. And that 100-foot upland review area here is denoted in this dashed line, which will carry over to subsequent sheets. One other point that I've highlighted here in green is the existing tree line, some of which is within the upland review area, some outside, but the boundary outward of the wetland beyond this tree is mostly lawn, grass areas, and the field to the south of the school. So primarily previously disturbed areas, both outside and within the upland review area. The majority of the stormwater from the existing site and building all flows and is piped underground to an outfall sort of at the northern point of this wetland. So the majority of the stormwater either flows piped into that outlet or flows overland from the field to this wetland system. So the vast majority of the stormwater in the existing condition and for our proposed project drain towards this wetland, and that will be maintained in the proposed condition with additional stormwater quality improvements. So just to briefly give an overview of the site plan, here we have our new middle school, a circulating ring road for emergency access down and through the site and around the building on the eastern side, pedestrian walkways surrounding the entirety of the building, and then 2 new parking areas, one dedicated for parent drop-off loop and the other dedicated for bus drop-off with parking for employees and visitors. And then within the area to the north of this parking will be new playing fields and maintaining all of the existing fields to the east of the proposed development. Here we have just some enlargements of those site plans. And next we have our grading and drainage plan. I know that there's quite a bit going on here, but we're mostly maintaining site grades to the maximum extent practicable and aiming to keep out of the upland review area as well. Now, I will note that there is one location here where site grading was such that we are proposing a minor encroachment into the upland review area in terms of areas that are currently wooded. So there is some grading within this upland review area to the north of the northernmost point of the wetland. This is a previously disturbed area with lawn and the embankment up to the existing school parking lot. And within this section, we are proposing a small portion of the new bus drop-off and then some grading to accommodate that. Similarly, in this location, we are proposing some encroachment into the upland review area. Now, we did walk the site a few weeks ago to note the trees and the existing condition of this wooded area, and it is mostly shrubby undergrowth, some invasives and vines. There are approximately 3 trees that would be removed within this encroachment. But outside of that, we are keeping our development in the previously disturbed field area for the most part. As I said, in regards to stormwater, we will be proposing some stormwater quality improvements. We are designing the system adhering to the latest update of the Connecticut Stormwater Quality Manual, which includes providing runoff reduction volumes, 100% of the water quality volume on our site, as well as water quality improvements, including catch basins with deep sumps, hydrodynamic separators. We have an above ground detention basin here as well to help trap sediment before it is migrated to the wetland. So currently on the site, there are very few, if any, stormwater quality infrastructure. All of the stormwater just flows, is piped underground or flows overland towards the wetlands. So with our new design here, we've proposed somewhat of a treatment train to help improve that water quality prior to discharging to that same outfall to wetland number 1. And then all of the roof drainage similarly will be directed to a small pond here in the south before ultimately all of the stormwater, or the majority from our site, maintaining its hydrology towards the wetland. Here we have our planting plan, and versus the existing condition of mostly lawn within this sort of boundary of the wetland and outside of the existing wooded areas, we are proposing some meadow mixes, steep slope meadow mixes. These will be a native mix of grasses and perennials for that meadow mix. And then we are providing a pretty robust program of trees, both to help reduce the heat island effect in the parking lot, as well as some trees along the wetland in the upland review area. So we are trying to improve the situation. Out there now, there's very few trees surrounding the school in the parking lot. So we are proposing a program of new plantings as well as trying to install the meadow mix where currently there is lawn. And finally, I will just touch a little bit upon our erosion controls. We will have a double barrier of a silt fence and a silt sock in accordance with the recommendations of the Connecticut Soil Erosion and Sediment Control Manual and the Connecticut Deep General Permit for stormwater during construction, which we will be filing for that application as our project exceeds an acre, well over an acre, in fact. So these perimeter controls up gradient of the wetland will be installed and maintained and monitored weekly throughout the life of the project. Similarly, we will have traditional erosion controls installed around the project, inlet protection in all catch basins, silt fence even on the eastern side of the project where the fields are downstream, sediment traps as applicable, and construction entrances, crushed stone construction entrances. And the project will be phased. We do have somewhat of an early iteration of the phasing here, where initially the construction entrance for the project will be off of Daniels Farm Road, and then staging will occur in this area between the road and the existing school to help maintain access to the existing school while the new is being constructed. And again, these perimeter controls will be kept in place throughout the life of the project and maintained. As the new school is brought online, we would then switch over to demolishing the existing school and then finally finishing out the build out of the parking lots and the remainder of the fields. I know I covered a lot of information there. I'm not sure if there are any questions or something we want to go into more detail, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Oh, I'd like to say, nice presentation.
Thank you.
Tatiana or John Mayer, any comments?
Thank you. Yes, very nice presentation. I do have some questions about stormwater, but they don't really pertain to activities within wetlands regulated area. But I also wanted to mention because of the amount of disturbance, there may be a need for a general permit, Connecticut General Stormwater Permit. So just wanted to mention if you
Yep.
guys working
We
on
are
it.
tracking, yep. Yeah, because we disturb greater than 1 acre and it is a municipal project, we will be required to obtain the stormwater general permit. So we have begun preparing the stormwater pollution control plan and will be filing for that permit.
Okay, thank you.
Through the chair.
Is that Rich Deacon?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Rich.
Oh, just a couple quick questions. So I had the fortune or perhaps misfortune of attending the school, and if you remember, there was in the western field, directly adjacent to Daniels Farm Road, there used to be a brook out there, and at some point in the 90s, it was apparently buried.
Over here.
Oh, yeah, you can probably kind of see the evidence of it. Do we know if that flow is not being affected at all by this construction, right? Because obviously the water is still there, even if you can't see it.
That's correct. Yeah, this area must have been filled in many years ago. And currently it's sort of a gradual sheet flow down towards the wetland. So that will be maintained. There's currently, nothing is really proposed over here.
Okay. And the other question, if you could just go a little bit lower, I'm looking at the JV baseball field, actually, the one at the bottom. Yep. It was mentioned that no fields would be lost. If you look at and perhaps the other map would actually be better to see the proposed conditions. I love the polo grounds. 200 feet, 250 feet down the line is really good. But if, in all seriousness, that foul line looks like you're going to squeeze that field in there. Are they planning on keeping that field as is? Because that is a really cramped baseball field in those conditions.
Yeah,
This
no,
field.
yeah,
Oh.
that field will shift to the east. It'll be reskinned and shift to the east.
And they'll be able to wedge that in. Of course, in about left center, there's a pretty big hill going up to that softball field, which is on the upper right of that map. So they're planning on keeping that in the general vicinity and just shifting it over.
That's correct. Yeah, the outfield of the JV baseball field will be used for staging and the geothermal field, and then this JV baseball field will be replaced in kind by the end of the project.
Okay, and that basically in that general vicinity, or is it going to be significantly farther east, like off the map we see now?
No, we're talking just as your eye indicates, that third baseline that needs to be rectified. So we're looking at like a 20-foot shift.
Okay, it'd be pretty minimal then. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's an attractive. The school is an attractive target for a lefty power, or a righty power hitter. That's all. Thank you.
Okay.
Through the chair.
Go ahead, David.
I have not had an opportunity to review the planting plan or the plant list yet, but I will do that. I did notice that there were some plants on there that were questionable. There are alternatives, but we'll discuss that the next go around. It looks like there's an opportunity where in the northern water control basin, there could be an opportunity to create a designed wetland, which could become a learning opportunity, outdoor classroom type space. Was any thought put to that, or, it looks like a very standard detail for water control structures, nothing groundbreaking there, nothing crazy. But there is an opportunity, being that this is a school, if some sort of designed wetland could be included in that space or as part of that feature, as an outdoor classroom type space. Was any thought given to that?
It hasn't. This detention basin that we're referring to is intended to be dry. The water is intended to drain within 48 hours, so we're not intending to have any standing water in that basin. It's simply, a water quality structure, as well as helping us achieve the peak flow reductions required by the Connecticut Stormwater Quality Manual. So it is not intended to be wet per se.
Okay, is there any opportunities to do some other best management practices, alternative green infrastructure, type drainage improvements here that would be something different than the standard fare?
Yeah, I think we can look at potentially
Maybe work with
installing
your
some
landscape architect
rain
to-
gardens. Along the perimeter of the school here, we could look at installing some rain gardens, which could also act as sort of those teaching opportunities I think you're referencing outside of the classrooms along the perimeter of the school.
Right, I was looking at the southern basin, but that's really on top of a steep slope, and we really don't want to get into those woods there and that stuff. But I don't know, work with your landscape architect and see if there are some opportunities for including some of the green infrastructure and different opportunities. I know you've looked at the structure being a green building, net zero, etc., but the site improvements, have we looked at doing any additional green infrastructure on the site improvements to improve that?
Well, I like the idea of extending the educational opportunities to outside the classroom and take advantage of this larger campus. So we'll review that with the educators and try to put some additional thought into that. Okay.
Great, thank you.
Through the
Good
chair.
comment, David, because I was thinking, I looked at what St. Joe's has done and I look at what Green Farms Academy does. And as you said, it would be a nice opportunity.
And I think Fairfield High School, but right off I-95, has an outdoor learning area as well.
Don't forget, this is a middle school. Okay.
Again.
That's right. We don't want to educate the kids there.
No, I've been
Yes.
through the trouble curriculum. They don't have any field natural history courses in middle school. That's all I'm saying, David. I went to this
Start 'em.
school open for seventh grade, so I'm a little familiar with the area.
It's a matter of starting and, let him get familiar with it. Wouldn't hurt. All right, anyone else from the commission?
Yeah. Chair,
Okay,
John.
okay, John.
Just a couple of questions. In the beginning, I heard that there was going to be heating and cooling by geothermal systems. Where is those going to be located?
Approximately in this location. in the outfield of the, I think it was the JV baseball field we were talking about.
So
That's correct. That's correct.
there's no structures that above the ground for this type of I'm not familiar
No.
with nothing. Okay.
These will be this will be an array of very deep wells that are very small, like 2 inches in diameter, encased in 6 inches of bentonite. All of that piping will only rise to about 5 feet below grade, and they be ganged and routed into the building, all subsurface.
Curious, how deep does these pipes go?
I will check, but I believe it's 600 feet. There's 100 wells that are 600 feet deep each.
Is any
They're about-
any chance of hitting some underground water, springs, or anything like that could cause any potential things
No,
to
we
happen
did.
to the surrounding wetlands?
Well, we did a test well in December, and the driller pulled a permit, and any of the effluent that was issued was pulled up into a frac tank, filtered, and then released back into either the storm or sanitary system. And that's the procedure that will be followed.
And there was nothing
for the
curious
well
about the
field.
effluent that came up. It was
No,
quite
no. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. One
It's
more.
interesting that these wells are going to be 600 feet deep. The building elevation is roughly 375. So they're going to be 300 feet deeper than the surface of Long Island Sound.
Yeah. The test well results, for what it's worth, this will be our 6th geothermal public school in Connecticut. And your well, like your students, has tested the best in the region thus far. So that's very promising.
Okay. Second question. If we go back to look at erosion controls, I'm just interested in where the stockpiles are and how they're addressed in the different phases.
Sure. So we are showing stockpiles
That's the
down
stockpile.
here,
Okay.
and then
I thought you
in-
called those some kind of filter before when you were doing your presentation. I thought, it's looking at the screen, everything's very small. But those are stockpiles with filter fabric around them?
yes, with a perimeter barrier, a silt sock or hay bale or a straw wattle.
Okay. And the construction plans should show the routes that the trucks would be able to get to, both the stockpiles for putting material down and picking it up when we
Correct.
receive them later. Okay.
Yeah, and it's always a coordination item, throughout construction, and because we will be applying for and obtaining the Connecticut general permit, there will be weekly monitoring requirements as a part of that permit. So someone will be inspecting the site at minimum on a weekly basis, and after all rainfall events, checking all erosion controls and writing reports with, corrective actions as appropriate.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Through the chair.
Go ahead, Carmine.
This is Greg Sertica.
Oh, Greg, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I can't see all of you on the screen right now, so.
Is there any fill coming in or fill going out?
So the site is in a fill condition. So we will be bringing fill onto the site. Currently, where the proposed school sits, that field is lower than the elevation of the existing school. So there will be some fill brought in order to construct the proposed middle school.
Okay, and I'm assuming you'll have documentation on the fill that you'll be bringing in?
Correct. This will all be clean fill, structurally suitable for either the pavement or the building or landscaped areas accordingly, but it will all be certified clean fill.
Thank you.
Through the chair.
Go ahead, Bob.
Yes, could they just review in more detail how the stormwater is going to be handled from the building and also from the parking lot?
Sure. So in the existing condition, the entirety of the existing middle school and the parking lots that surround the existing middle school, all of that stormwater is piped underground and then discharged to this outfall at the northernmost point of Wetland 1. We are proposing to maintain that outfall, and then the remainder of the stormwater to the south of the existing school in the field where the new school will go flows, the majority of that area flows overland also towards wetland number 1. In the proposed condition, the roof drainage from the existing school, or from the proposed school rather, is going to be collected and piped underground to a small detention basin to the south here, adjacent to this sort of service yard. And then all of the stormwater from the proposed parking lots, our new field, and all of the areas to the north of the proposed school will be collected in yard drains or catch basins and directed towards this detention basin before ultimately discharging to that same outfall. So we will have an outlet control structure within this basin, which will control the outfall of the stormwater, and it will discharge towards this wetland. I will note that our proposed plan here actually proposes a decrease in imperviousness. We're actually reducing the imperviousness of the site slightly from the existing condition, but with some of the peak flow reduction requirements of the 2024 Connecticut Stormwater Quality Manual, we are providing these detention structures to achieve a 50% reduction in the 2-year storm event. So on down the line up to and including the 100-year storm event, which we've analyzed the storms in between as well, we are proposing peak flow reductions for all of those storms up to and including the 100-year. And then additionally, we are providing those water quality improvements that I spoke of earlier in accordance with the water quality manual, the catch basins with deep sumps, a hydrodynamic separator upstream of this pond to introduce a swirl in the stormwater flow and allow those sediment to fall and settle. And then the detention basin here, which will be providing the water quality volume. So the volume of stormwater for the water quality storm, or approximately 1.3 inch storm event.
What's the size of this retention area? The water retention area. Approximately, what's the size of that?
The approximate amount of volume that we're providing there is
square footage. Yeah, volume and square footage.
The square footage I can get for you here. Apologies, I don't have that number.
Okay, you can later time.
But it's about 8,000, approximately 8,000
So-
square feet.
As far as the questionable material, that's being siphoned out before it hits this retention pond.
Correct. Yeah, the goal is with the catch basins, with the deep sumps, as well as the hydrodynamic separator. The goal is that most of the sediment from the parking lot is going to be trapped before it reaches into the pond.
Is there some kind of maintenance schedule that the town will be required, or the Board of Education will be required to maintain these areas, the sump areas?
There is. We have included within our stormwater manual an operation and maintenance plan. So that will be included. That was included within our stormwater report and will be provided, which shows, cleaning schedules, et cetera. I
Okay.
can,
Thank you.
yep. Yeah, we will have this down here at the bottom. There's a operation and maintenance schedule, which, discusses all the detention ponds, and then a timeline for regular maintenance.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm looking at wetlands too, and there doesn't seem to be too much going on there that will affect it. It's the Belden Brook, right? So just skim over that real quick.
Wetland number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are not, we did have the site. This is from the soil scientist report. So when he went out there, he did delineate wetland number 2 over on the east side, and we're well outside of that wetland. So the plans only really show wetland number 1 here in the southwest portion of the property.
I just want to make sure that hit the record for you. So
Thank
that
you.
we didn't skip over it. All right. Anyone else from the commission? Any other comments, questions?
Through the chair.
Go ahead, David.
Given that this is a public project, and I know there's minimal impact to the regulated areas, should this be scheduled for a public hearing in the interest of the public?
My feelings, yes, because it's
Yes,
a big ticket item. Yeah.
it's in the public interest.
Yes. Yeah. Because there's going to be a lot of questions on it and all that. So.
The amount being spent is significantly more than $15 million. So.
Yeah.
Which is the trigger for referendum.
Question, Mr. Chairman.
Go
Public
ahead,
hearing,
Bob.
is it going to be a public hearing just for the wetlands? Another public hearing for the other parts of the construction project?
I would assume P and Z would also do it too, because again, it's
No,
a big project.
No,
Mr. Chairman,
they're immune to zoning.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so valid questions all. This project has been approved by an 8-24 referral by the Planning and Zoning Commission unanimously. So it does not go to planning and zoning. It's only a referral, whether it's a positive referral or a negative referral. It was positively referred. The town council has approved the project. The town has approved it by a referendum vote. So I understand the concept of a public hearing for the general public interest, but I do think I would advise the commission that the impact to the wetlands here is extremely minimal. You are barely touching the upland review area. So I don't know if this might want to reconsider that, because that starts a whole legal process that opens the town up to other things. And I don't know that is advisable, to be candid to the commission, based on what is before the commission, which is, I mean, it barely is within the upland review area. And the impact of the wetlands, as the application demonstrates, does not appear to be of any significant nature whatsoever. So that's your legal counsel's 2 cents, and it's probably not worth more than that. So that's what
I was going to go for 3 cents myself, but
okay.
No, again, you pointed out if we're legally not obligated to do it, I agree with you. Less is more, as they say. So back to the commission. Any other comments, questions for Mr. Phillips or Mr. Scott? Otherwise, go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, through the chair. I think, are we expecting to do a walk here? I know there's not a lot to see, but I overheard them saying a few trees might have to come down or something. Is that something we would want to schedule?
Yeah. So remember,
It's going to happen regardless, and there's very little impact on here, so I don't really know if
it's
we
worth
even
it.
have to do the walk, So
If it would be helpful, I do have some photos of the area that we were talking about that I can show.
all right, if you would.
So we did take a look at that. This roughly shaded area corresponds to this spot that I was referring to, where we are proposing some modest clearings within a wood, a previously wooded area, undisturbed area within the upland review area. And looking at that, we noticed approximately 3 trees of note within that. The remainder appears to be, shrubby undergrowth, invasive sort of vines. This is looking at that space. So again, I think it would be a very minor encroachment that we're talking about here.
Well, I think you just saved us a walk because it doesn't appear to be much there. So,
Great. Thank you.
all right. Again, any other comments, questions? Otherwise, we'll move to the next application. Are we good?
Yes.
Anything else, Mr. Phillips or Mr. Scott?
Nothing for me. I really do appreciate your time.
Yep. Likewise. Thank you all.
All right. So if we're good, we're going to move on to application 25-43, Harris W. Stellis. Permit approval for restoration and reconstruction of existing residence, landscaping, replacing driveway and front walk, and installation of a stormwater retention system within a regulated area at 201 Old Dyke Road.
There we go. Welcome, commissioners. My name is Aris W. Stalis. I'm the principal of Aris Land Studio. We're a landscape architecture firm located now in Hamden, Connecticut. Last time we were before you, our office was in Bridgeport. We're here today to present plans for 201 Old Dyke Road. We're representing the owner, ACI Costello Properties. The project, we were before you about, I'd say 2-3 years ago. And there was a lot of questions in terms of what was happening and tree removals and that type of thing. Wetland flagging. Since then, we have had the site surveyed by a licensed land surveyor, Washington Cabezas, that's in your plans. Also, the wetlands were flagged by William Kenny and Associates. One of the questions that arose during our previous presentations was if there was a wetland or stream at the rear of the property. And that had to do with what was happening here at the northern area of the property, and no watercourse or anything was flagged by Mr. Kenny. The wetlands that he did flag were here on the northern side that's adjacent to Booth Hill Brook. The property is about just under an acre. The area of the regulated area is a little over 19,000 square feet. The owner has more or less stabilized the site at this time. We had specified that they needed to put up erosion control fencing and hay bales. Those were done subsequently. The site, as I said, is generally stabilized. We did submit a report of visiting the site after a rainstorm, which I believe was December 19th, to the wetland department, noting that it's generally stabilized. The project will, once work starts again, we'll need to have those erosion controls fortified, put in place. The major crux of this project is really to add a second story to this existing building. So essentially, it's a full remodel. Foundation and the current walls are remaining, but there's going to be a second story added to it. The stone wall that is in the back along here, that remains. And that was a concern was brought up about that. The owner has retained a structural engineer and plant, and that section was submitted to the building department. It really is going to go to the building department once these approvals are set, if it's approved, to receive the building permit. The engineering plan shows a Caltech detention system here on the lower portion of the site, picking up the impervious area of the structure. It's actually well sized, well over what the calculations show. So we do not expect additional storm flow there. The plantings you see, we're proposing a series of native plantings pretty much around the perimeter of the site to help kind of create an edge between the existing woodlands, and as well as kind of help buffer between the neighbors using junipers and American hollies. So that's kind of the general planting plan, with, of course, understory plants like perennials and some herbaceous species. We tried to stay with a palette that generally is not consumed by deer, even though when it comes to deer, those rules sometimes go out the window. It all depends on how hungry they are. Really, as I said, it's going to be the building, the driveway, or really repaving the driveway, just so that works. And that's really that's all for the project. Questions? Wanted to keep it short.
David, question for you. On the left-hand side of the driveway, remember that's a bit of a hill, and we
Yes.
were concerned about stabilizing that so there wouldn't be, a lot of mud coming down. You and Bob have the expertise. Would what they're proposing, will that stabilize that?
I've got to zoom in on that area. Let me get down
To
to the
the-
application.
Are you saying to the left of the driveway?
Yeah, as you're entering, where it's saying that you've got the junipers and the
Yep.
I believe it's hardjack spires or something.
Yep. Hardhack spire. Yep. So generally what's happening here is this, call it a vegetated area, starts, adding to, absorbing some of those impacts. And really, I wouldn't be concerned about erosion from that area. And we can see today that it's actually quite stable over there. And I think these plantings will simply help with it. There will be some kind of finessing with the neighbor, since there is encroachment from the patio area, but I'm sure everyone will come to an amicable agreement with those areas.
My only concern was I didn't see any ground covering per se, but like I said, that's Bob and David who handle that for us. So
The
All right,
hardhack
open it.
spirea isn't on the plant list.
The elevation seems to be okay. The Brussels approximately just a few feet, 6 feet or so, over 80 feet. So the elevations look okay. As far as the plantings, I haven't got far, like Dave.
Yep. No, I hear you, David. Sometimes those LAs are just a little they just stay up too late working on it.
Through the chair.
Go ahead, Rich.
Just a quick question in regards to this particular side of the road. Is this the house that's currently been unoccupied for some time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually quite, it looks rough.
I'm assuming it's been unoccupied for some years.
Yeah, yes, it hasn't been occupied since, it must be 2023. I believe when we started looking at it. It's not occupiable at this time. There's just too much water damage and things like that inside.
Understood. Thank you.
Tatiana, comments? John Mayer?
Couple quick notes. On the plan, the tree removal plan, it looks like there's also erosion control depicted on that. Not sure if there are other plans, but I don't see a stockpile on that. If you could please add it.
Well, there was, on the engineering plan, there's a stockpile showed in this location.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and there's really, the only time there'll be a need for any kind of stockpiling, which is going to be minimal, is when they're putting in the drainage system.
Mm-hmm. And then the wetlands report, I'm not a wetlands expert, but the map depicts this apparent swale. So it's basically the determination of the soil scientist that it is not a regulated swale. Is that the conclusion?
No, the wetland map, from the soil scientist, let me bring that up, does not actually show the swale. So let me just stop that share and then share that.
Yeah, they do not show it on their little schematic, but it's kind of off the site. So the question is whether they've gone off the property and done any investigation there, because when 2, 3 years ago we went there, there was a pretty clear flow. And if there is any intermittent water course, then the regulated area extends from that side. So I'm not sure what were the limits of the wetland scientist investigation.
I know they were directed to go to the site and look at it. I know they were asked to look at the swale. I'd have to follow up, I mean, if he didn't identify, I know he was asked to look at it, and the swale was part of it between, myself and Washington Cabezas when they were, when he went to have this done, we talked about it. So I think he simply didn't, he didn't comment on it because there wasn't a water course in that location.
Okay, yeah, I guess there should be some clarity because this was definitely a question from 2 years ago. So that's it.
Tatiana, a question for you.
Yep.
When we went out, like I said, a couple of years back, did we know if any trees were taken down or cut or removed? I'm trying to remember. It's been
Oh,
a
yeah.
while.
Well, it was after the fact.
So again, what are we doing for remediation for those? I haven't seen or heard anything on that.
So in terms of the, yeah, there was a number of trees that were removed, and to address that is what's driving, how that's part of how we develop this planting plan, to kind of do some, call it habitat restoration. So it's really a mix of having, some mature shade trees here, which includes really the Nissa, the sourwood, a red oak. And those are, you know, trees that generally look for a lot of space. But then we're also adding a number of understory trees, which really to help kind of create a balance in the landscape. Plus a number of shrubs like plethora, inkberries, Virginia sweet spires, lacothawee, spice bush, some blueberries. So what we're trying to do is not just put back just shade trees, but actually create habitat.
Okay, Mr. Stallis, I think what the commission would like to see is a plan showing the removal of the trees, because when we first went there on the right-hand side, that was clear cut right to the Booth Hill brook. And there were definitely stumps showing there. So I would think if you could do that on the next meeting, it would be helpful. I think the commission agrees with me on that, is we'd be looking at remediation for those to see what we, you know, I don't know whether it was 5, 10, we're not sure, but I'd have to look back in what I had a couple of years ago in my files. All right, so if that's something you could do, it'd be appreciated, or Bill Kenny, one of the two of you. You agree, Bob and David?
Yes, yes.
Yes, I think the location of the removed trees should be definitely shown. And you know, we may want to get some more shade trees along that edge to remediate what was removed. It looked like there were some understory trees there, some flowering dogwoods and stuff, which are cute. But you know, the site might benefit from having some larger shade type trees in there, whether it's a red maple or something along those lines. I know there's a lot of tulip trees and beech and oak up in that area.
All right, this is for John Mayer. John, I know when you go out, you always take pictures. When this comes in from Mr. Stallis or Mr. Kenny, can you compare it to your initial photos of what you took? Because as I remember, when we first walked that site, the left was just, not left, but the right side was just clear cut. And I remember on the left-hand side seeing some trees had been removed. And I think 1 or 2 were even removed on the neighbor's property, but that's the neighbor's issue, not ours. But
Yeah,
so
no,
if you
this,
could do
I mean,
that,
this,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. So the survey had picked up the stumps that were on the site. So this is what was, you know, that evidence was there of the stumps. Now, I know just looking at some of the, you know, if you look at historical photos of, for example, Google Street View, there was, for example, like a large oak in this area here. But it starts to become extremely, challenging to be able to quantify beyond what, the stumps that are here, everything that's been removed. Especially on the right side, I'm sorry, that's uphill from Booth Hill Brook, simply because, the evidence is gone.
Well,
Yeah, but when we looked at this several years ago, there was like basically a stop order on this. Nothing should have
Yep.
been done from that point on. So
No,
what we
that-
saw then should be
Yep.
here now.
That's what was done, and I know we have photos from the site that dates back to
There might
Yeah,
take a little work that you do
December
some Google
from-
and see.
we have images from August of 2023. So we'll be able to go back to that and try to quantify it in a way.
All right, if you would, and mark them so then we can determine the remediation factor. I believe Greg wanted to
Yeah.
speak. Go ahead, Greg.
question for you. What was your asphalt driveway? I could see from your Coltex, you're pulling off drains off the house, it looks like. Is that driveway the exact same footprint? Is it larger than the original? And then based on how it's flowing, where's that water going? It's just going to come running down to the street, and I guess
There's that, yeah, let me show the engineering plan. There's actually, so the footprint's close to what was there previously. So it's what we did with the driveway is essentially clean it up and try to create a level area up top here. There is a trench drain that is at call it the lower end of the driveway that's intended to help in picking up some of those waters.
okay. Did you I'll throw this to our engineering, Tatiana, our engineering manager. Is the impervious surface, did you guys run through that calculation or see something? Are we increasing it or is it staying roughly the same? Did you see anything, Tatiana? Or
We haven't done a review yet. Great question. From 2 years ago, they were staying within the existing footprint, and
Okay.
so the town's comment was that just the water quality volume should be treated, and this is what they have proposed with this application, but we will certainly compare
Okay, we'll look
the
at that.
impervious coverage.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
All right, anyone else from the commission?
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead, Bob.
in the maps that that were given to the commission, there's three sheets. Do we have a copy of this where the Coltech is?
You should have it. Yeah, it was part of
No, I
that
got you.
package.
I only have
There was
three
just-
copies. I don't see that. Four copies. I don't see the Coltech. Then that map that you have.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm sorry. I found it. Okay, Mike,
Oh,
I got it. Thank you.
got me worried there.
Yep,
There you go.
sorry about that.
We like to keep you on your toes.
A trick
Anyone
question.
else from the commission?
Yes, through the chair.
Go ahead, Carmine.
As far as impervious surface, does that retaining wall figure into those calculations?
And oh, you mean adding, like, if that wall?
Right, because that's a
impervious-
new wall.
The engineer's calculations, which are shown here, they are showing that, for compliance, there's a need to have 720, basically 725 cubic feet of storage, and they're providing 883. So I'd have to check with the engineer, but right now we're above quite a bit of what's necessary to be in compliance.
Yeah, but that wall was quite long and would be well over a couple of hundred square feet of impervious surface.
But I will double check with the civil
Okay,
engineer.
thank you.
Okay, anyone else from the commission?
Through the chair.
Go ahead, David.
Just looking at the plans and sort of the history of this property, the footprint is going to stay exactly as is, and we're just adding a second story above, correct?
Correct.
And any changes to the footprint would require him to come back to this commission.
Yep.
Just to be clear on this. And the previous application, there were a lot of questions on what are we doing here, what are we doing there, and they didn't really have good answers. So it seems like a lot of those answers have been resolved on the plan, which is good. Glad to see that. Just wanted to clarify that about the footprint.
Yep.
And
All
through
right.
the chair,
Go ahead, Tatiana.
Just really quick, also from the last time, there was a discussion about posting a bond, landscaping bond, and we have received an estimate for the plantings in amount of 28,000 approximately. And I would also encourage the commission to consider a site monitor.
Duly noted, as they say.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else from the commission? Mr. Stellis, you're good?
We're good. I appreciate it.
All
Nice
right.
Through the
presentation.
chair, through
Thank
the
you.
chair. Would,
Go ahead,
will we be
Carmine.
will we be walking this?
I have it down because it's a couple of years ago. I'd like to go and see it again. Yes. As I said, the left side, the slope, I remember erosion then. The right side was clear cut all the way. So no, we'll be definitely looking at it. And again, that's going to be determined by whether in a couple of weeks we get rid of the snow. So, all right, we're
I
good.
think you might. You got tomorrow. The next couple of days are going to be in the 40s,
Let's hope.
and then it's, we need the moisture anyways, as it is.
There you go. All right, thank you, Mr. Stellis.
Thank you.
All right. All right, I need a motion to close new business.
Motion.
Made by Bob Thornton, seconded
second
by
it.
Rich. Oh, okay, seconded by David. All in favor? Okay, that's unanimous. All right, we're going to old business, application 25-31, Henry Pan. Permit approval for change of grade, plantings and removal of debris within a regulated area at 207 Tashwell Road. Applicant has requested a continuance via email to the February meeting. Need a motion for a continuance, Greg, if you would.
Yep, I make a motion to continue application 2531, Henry Pan. Permit approval to change grade, plantings, and removal of debris within a regulated area, 207 Tashwell Road, to February 3rd, 2026, with the applicant granting a waiver to extend the statutory timeframe.
Okay, a second. Somebody second?
I'll second.
Okay,
Discussion.
thank you, Bob.
Discussion.
All in favor?
Through the chair, discussion.
Go ahead, Rich. I know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
You already know, what is his reason for requesting the extension?
He's not prepared, and my thoughts are this: I would rather give a continuance than for them to come in and do a half-hearted presentation that ties up the time. This way, hopefully, they'll have everything done in February for us. Because there's quite a bit that he had to do, so that's why he's asking for it. Okay.
All right.
So back to the vote. All in favor? One denial by, are you agreeing or going against, Rich? Against, okay. 6-4, 1 against. All right. Okay, application 25-35, Image LLC. Anatoly Gurovich, permit approval for additional 24 paid parking spaces within a regulated area at 101 Merritt Boulevard. I believe Colleen or Tatiana, the applicant, requested a continuance on this. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. Greg, can we get a motion for continuance on application 25-35?
One question before I do that.
Sure.
Notes here, the applicant, we're waiting for the applicant to submit a second separate application for the remediation of the area where the 49 trees were cut down by the town pump station, correct?
Through the
And-
chair.
Go ahead, Tatiana, go ahead.
So we had several discussions on that, and the idea is for the applicant to split the application in two phases, And should the commission choose to approve it, one of the conditions could be that phase 2 cannot commence until phase 1 is fully implemented and inspected. And we've done that on previous applications, and I think it's just cleaner because it's one application, but it's in 2 phases. But they're working diligently on splitting it and making sure phase 1 is remediation. And
Okay.
so until that is completed, they cannot do anything with phase 2. So that's
All
just
right, very good.
update.
Thank you, Tatiana.
Okay, I can make the motion.
Yes, go ahead, Greg.
I'd like to make a motion to continue application 2535, IMAG LLC, a permit approval for the additional 24 paved parking spaces within a regulated area at 101 Merrick Boulevard, to be continued to February 3rd, 2026. That's it.
That was an excellent
right.
reason. Happy to second that.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Okay, that's unanimous. All right, we're going to application 25-38, John Sanzo. Permit approval for additions to the front and rear of house, install a rain water system and stone walls, and remove 2 trees within a regulated area at 121 Pinewood Trail. I see someone being identified as John's iPad. Are you the gentleman that's been handling this?
Mr.
He's
Silva.
muted.
Oh, there he is. There's Mr. Silva. Very good.
Good evening, commissioners. Manny Silva from Rose Teas and Company, representing the applicant. I believe we had our presentation last meeting, and I don't think there was any outstanding questions unless someone has one, or if there's anything further that John would like to add. I think he may have something to present. I'm not sure, but I'll leave it to him.
Well, can you hear me?
Yeah.
But
Yep, we can hear you.
We did the presentation last month.
Excuse me, you have to
Oh, I
identify
apologize.
yourself. You know the routine.
I apologize. John Sanzo, NYCT Solutions, 1234 Summer Street, Stamford, Connecticut, and I represent Roderick Swift and Jennifer Wag at 121 Pinewood Trail. We've had the meeting last month. It was suggested that we do a walkthrough. We did a walkthrough with quite a few people. There were some questions asked, and I think we answered them on site. I don't know if anybody has any other questions regarding the project. I think the main thing was we're removing 2 trees where the addition is going to go in the back, and I think we're satisfied that the tree is too big to be too close to the house to begin with. So everybody was somewhat happy that that tree is going. And the second tree, which is near where the rainwater system is going, which the roots will probably be damaged, and that's going to also. We are installing a rainwater system. It's 26 feet plus or minus, as Manny mentioned last time, and it's going to be the Coltech system. We are installing a few stone walls to kind of elevate the terrain to slow down any process of water running into the lake. And I don't know if I mentioned, or if anybody's not aware, we are doing 2 additions, one in the front, one in the back. They're both 2 stories. The one in the back, which is within the 100 feet of the lake, there will not be a foundation. There will be piers, or most likely at this point we'll be using helical piles, which is going to be very, very not create a mess back there, so to speak. That's for the back. In the front, there will be a full foundation, no basement. That's where the new garage will be going, with the second floor going on top. We did prepare a plan for planting for any of the trees to be removed to remediate. I don't have the capability to put it on the screen right now because I have a little extra on my iPad. But we did submit the plan, and the plan was put together by Telecom Associates. They are from in Connecticut. He doesn't have an address here. I apologize, but that's where we are with the project right now. So I don't know if anybody has any questions based on the visit that we did there. So I'm open for questions.
Okay, I'm going to go to John Mayer because I think, are you handling this, John, or is Tatiana?
Yes, I can handle it.
All right.
So the engineering department we actually just did a review for the stormwater system.
Okay.
So we have a letter. Sorry, we just got that today. So I would just recommend perhaps a condition of approval can be that they have to respond to our engineering letter.
Okay, engineering letter. David, did you get a chance? I hate to put the burden on you, but did you get a chance to review the planting plan? You're muted right now.
I looked at it briefly. There really wasn't a whole lot on there. I think there could be a little bit more robust planting on the steep slope at the end of the driveway. But there's also going to be an issue with snow removal and snow piling up there, taking out whatever plantings are there. So
is the question if the applicant is agreeable to adding a few more of the
Yes, we are.
suggested plantings?
Yes, we are. There is also nothing to do with the snow. Obviously, snow will melt. We are providing a driveway drain at the end of the driveway to collect some of the rainwater and obviously some of the melted from the snow, but nothing for snow removal that will help. But yes, we are open to adding some more planting at the end of the driveway.
okay.
All right. Comments, questions from the commission? Go ahead, Greg.
Through the chair, it just the other thing, I'm assuming, I don't remember seeing, I have to go back and look at the print, but you're protecting erosion control. That's a pretty steep hill. You're going to.
Yes, the erosion control, I'm sorry for interrupting. There's going to be erosion control both on the right side, left side, and in the back, which we constantly monitor. And Manny can key in on this right now, because I think he's coming in.
Yeah, Manny Silva again from Rostizo. The project has a full complement of soil erosion controls. We have an anti-tracking pad at the driveway and roadway entrance, or the driveway entrance at the roadway. We have a stockpile area here with silt fence around it, and then we have an envelope of silt fence on the downhill side and the sides of the property to encapsulate the limit of disturbance on the property, and also to keep any erosion during construction in this envelope area here. As you can see, we also have a concrete washout area so that when they do pour the foundations, the trucks have somewhere to wash out, which will be here, and not just anywhere randomly on the property. So the distance from our limit of disturbance and the silt fence line is a substantial distance from the Pinewood Lake, and that would protect Pinewood Lake and the resource there from the construction activity uphill, which is here.
All right, thank you. Any other comments, questions? All right, if we're good, if you can remove that, Mr. Silva. All right, if we're good, I'm going to go to you, Greg.
Okay.
For a motion to approve as submitted with the following.
I make a motion to approve application 2538. Permanent approval for additions to the front and rear of a house, install a rainwater system and stone walls, and remove 2 trees within a regulated area at 121 Pinewood Trail. In accordance to the following conditions from the Town of Trumbull's Inland Wetlands and Watercourse Commission, Section 1, General Conditions 1.1 to 1.10. And site-specific conditions of approval, we have a 2.1 where erosion controls need to be installed and inspected and maintained. And then 2.4, limits of disturbance, again, staked out and maintained. And Section 3, additional conditions. Applicant needs to respond back to engineering. A letter has been sent to them. And
When was that dated, John? John Mayer, when was that dated?
Dated today.
okay.
Thank you.
All right. And then 3.2, applicant to add additional plantings at the end of the driveway.
Do we want placards?
Pardon?
Do we want placards as well?
I don't know what we're going to placard, really, to be honest.
Mm.
You know?
Not at the wetland. The wetlands is down.
Because I mean, it's the basically the lake. So,
Correct.
Bob, did you have a comment? I saw your
No,
hand go up. Go ahead.
Yeah, second the motion.
All right, thank you. Have we missed anything? We're good. All right, let's go to a vote. I'm a yes. Greg?
Yes.
David? Yes. Bob?
Yes.
Carmine?
You're
Yes.
muted, Carmine.
That was a yes.
Okay, John?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
And it's okay, and I'm a yes, so it's unanimous. Thank you. Good
Thank you
luck.
very
Happy
much.
New Year to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank
Happy
you.
New Year.
Enjoy.
All right. Thank you. Okay, we're continuing old business, continuation of public hearings. Application 25-10 and 25-11. I'm not going to read through them. It's for 6 Sycamore and lot 321 Sycamore Street. Again, I understand there was a letter or an email from the applicant requesting a continuance. Is that true, either Tatiana or Colleen?
Yes, that's true.
All right. So Greg, we need a motion for a continuance on application 25-10 and 25-11.
Before I make that motion, our other notes we had that we were waiting for an independent licensed environmental professional report. It was pending. Do we continue to make that same statement? We're waiting for that report to be formally received. How do we
Did
want
we
to
get
phrase?
that yet, Tatiana?
Not the full report. We
Okay,
got
so we
some
leave that
preliminary.
open as waiting for that. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
How long do we wait, guys?
Well, what else happened today, and I will have Tatiana put out, but we just got the results of the testing. So it's fortuitous that they're asking for continuance because to receive it today and try to absorb it, it's pretty involved. So I, for one, I'm happy they're asking for the continuance.
Doesn't anybody
So-
find it very convenient that it happens to be submitted the day of the meeting, giving us absolutely no time to review it beforehand?
It was
Well-
submitted yesterday, and it's due to our LEP having,
Yeah.
vacation plans over Christmas and New Year's Eve. So it's just
It's
that
also
time.
lab work. They were drilling, they had to drill test holes, they had to drill stuff, they had to send samples out to labs, and then the environmental guy has to write a report based on what
Right.
he's seeing. So yeah, it's a
Yeah,
long.
it's pretty involved, so. All right, so there's a
Okay.
motion.
I make a
Second.
motion to
Yeah,
continue application 2510 and 2511 to February 3rd, 2026, with the applicant granting a waiver to extend the statutory timeframe. Report from the independent licensed environmental professional, the LEP, is pending.
Second.
Seconded by Bob. Any other comments before we go to the vote? Okay. All in favor? I'm a yes. Greg?
Yes.
Yes.
David? Bob? Yes. Carmine? John?
Yes.
John,
John's
yes or
not-
no? Yes, okay.
John's
And
not voting, not
and-
voting.
okay, yeah, I'm sorry, you can't vote on this. I forgot. Sorry about that. And we have the thumbs down from Mr. Deacon. So it's 5-4, 1 no. All right, at this point, hate to keep the burden going on you, Greg, but we need the minutes approval for December 2nd
Yep, two
of
meetings.
2025 and December 4th of 2025.
Correct. I make a motion to approve the minutes of the Town of Trumbull Inland Wetlands and Watercourse Commission meeting held on December 2nd, 2025.
Second.
Okay. Seconded by Rich. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it's unanimous. Quick question. There would only be one field walk. I'll put it to
Wait, I have to do
the,
the second. I have to do the second.
We only did the second.
oh, I'm sorry. Go
Okay.
ahead.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the Town of Trumbull Inland Wetlands and Watercourse Commission, the public hearing held on December 4th, 2025.
Second.
Sorry. Thank you. Again, all in favor? It's unanimous. I'm sorry. I thought we had joined them like we did once before. I'm going to put it to the commission. I, for one, want to walk Old Dyke. Are you in agreement?
Yes.
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 All right. Well, okay. The issue as I see it, Monday, January 19th is when we normally go, but that's Martin Luther King Day. Question for you, Tatiana and John, Mayor. Hate to do it, but could you do it the following day, Tuesday, the 20th? Because I know you know, when you have a day off, you're trying to pick up. Would that work for you?
That's fine. Fine with me.
Yeah, that works.
All right, so we'll do it Tuesday, January 20th at 2:30 at the site. Colleen, is there anything else that has to be discussed or come before the commission?
No, I'm good.
What was
Thank
that?
you.
What was the
Okay,
site
great.
location again, Richard?
Oh,
201
it's the
Monday.
Old Dyke 201, where are we?
One.
201. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
I have to watch, everybody's got my back here and, I wouldn't mind, but the knife is getting a little dull. All right, back to, quick question. Mr. Deacon, anything that's going to come before us, from P and Z? 5 words or less.
There are numerous 830G applications pending, but to the best of my knowledge, they are not wetlands related. I refer to the most recent minutes for more information, and that's all I can say.
All right, thank you, thank you. Anything else before I close the meeting? And remember, we're back here next Tuesday at 7 for the Plum Tree meeting. As always, thank you. Happy New Year to all of you. I move to adjourn if there be no objection. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good job, Richard.
Ugh.